Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to start the next session here with a presentation of the SME EnviroApp Award. This award was launched in March 2012 by the Scottish Government, SSE, SEPA, and Microsoft. The SME EnviroApp challenged developers to create software applications for small and medium-sized enterprises to help play a part in delivering Scotland's ambitious targets for a 42% cut in target emissions by 2020. Now, you'll see on the agenda programme that Ian Marchant, who has been heavily involved in this award, is not here today, but he has indeed sent us a message.
Those of you who attended this conference in previous years will know that I've spoken far too much and far too often, so this year I decided the best solution was to get out of the country, so I'm not appearing at the conference apart from this short clip. However, my one regret is that I'm missing the presentation of the EnviroApp Award, but I'm delighted that the First Minister has agreed to present it, so it's now over to the First Minister.
I'd like to invite the First Minister of Scotland to come up and present the award. Thank you.
Well, Samantha and ladies and gentlemen, you notice that Ian Marchant didn't say he was regretting missing my speech. He's just regretting this award. I just want to say a wee bit of context for the presentation of this important award. As you remember, ladies and gentlemen, in 2009, the Scottish Parliament, because it has responsibility for climate change, passed unanimously the world's most ambitious climate change target. And that was a 42% reduction in carbon emissions by 2020. I'm pleased to say the good news is we're more than halfway towards that target. We've achieved 24% towards the 42% target. We had a bit of a setback in 2010 in terms of our carbon emissions actually rose. But of course it was, as we remember, the coldest winter since 1919, which had some effect in the figures, and we're reasonably, well, very confident that 2011 will show us back on track. Now, in order to illustrate this adventurous move by the Scottish Parliament and to generate what I think was the most cost-effective publicity in history, we had a special whisky distilled, the 2020 whisky, 42% proof. And we gave a bottle of this whisky, or offered to give a bottle to world leaders who would commit themselves to the 42% target. It's the most cost-effective thing we've ever done, because we've only had to give out 12 bottles so far. And people like Vice President Al Gore, Governor Schwarzenegger, the former President of the Maldives, President Nasheed, His Royal Highness the Duke of Rossi, Mary Robinson were among the lucky people. I've had many inquiries into my office from world leaders anxious to join the list. There was an informal approach from the German government, but I made it absolutely clear that although Angela Merkel was on the cusp of getting a bottle, having committed herself to 40%, that it's 42% or no bottle. Is the word from the Scottish Government. Now, it's a bit of fun. It's generated lots of publicity. This actually is the last bottle in existence. We may have to have another distillation. If anybody wants to offer me a really fancy price for this, incidentally, then feel free. I'll speak to you later. But it did illustrate a point of fundamental importance. The committee, the 2020 committee, which Ian chairs, has galvanised support across business and the third sector in terms of having the joint effort in order to achieve our targets. But one of the areas that we felt wasn't as easy to mobilise as many others was the small business sector. And that's for understandable reasons, because if we're going to achieve this target, this world-leading target, this hugely ambitious target, it cannot just be a top-down declaration from government. And it can't just be government and the third sector campaigning for it, and big business who make the investments, for example, in the burden and the nature of this conference, and the great renewable structures which are going to help us as far as the electricity generation side of this target is concerned. It has to engage the population as a whole, and it has to engage in particular the small business sector. The small businesses, remember, are 90% of the businesses of the country, 50% of the employment, 37% of GDP, and a similar and very substantial percentage of energy consumption. And if you think about small businesses, in particular, they're usually up against deadlines and up against the gunwale, that they've got 100 things to do to sustain their business, to fight their way through recession, to look at the opportunities for employment and recovery. And it's sometimes very difficult for them to focus and concentrate on energy efficiency and energy savings. And so the 2020 group, I think, in a substantial move, identified the need to reach out to small and medium-sized businesses. And one measure that the group identified was to create an app to help small businesses work in a way which supports the carbon reduction targets. That competition was established in March. It was supported by Microsoft, the Scottish Environment Protection Agency, the Scottish Government, and Scottish Southern Energy all supported the award. They managed to have 44 entries in total. There were 5 fantastic finalists: Edinburgh's Festivals, Enviro Digital, Green Oak Solutions, Link Node, and One Part Carbon. They were all, I'm told, potentially great apps, and the 2020 committee is working with the competition partners to see if it's possible to develop all of the ideas. And together, they actually demonstrate the talent we have in the digital media in Scotland. The winning app was called Care to Compare. It's intended to allow companies to compare their energy performance with comparable companies and then take action after they assess the results. We, the 2020 group, think it has a real difference, can make a real difference for SMEs who use it. We want to maximise the use of the app once it's developed. So our congratulations go to all 5 teams, but obviously special congratulations go to Green Oak, who win a very substantial cheque for £50,000. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to welcome Robert McKechnie from Green Oak, Professor Jim Baird from Glasgow Caledonian, who worked with them, to come up to accept their certificate and, in due course, the £50,000.
Thank you very much, First Minister. Just want to thank the 2020 committee for making the competition possible, in particular Scottish and Southern Energy, Scottish Government, SEPA and Microsoft. We're hoping to launch the app, or we're planning to launch the app in March of next year, so I'm hoping that anybody out in the audience that can help us get the app into the hands of small businesses, then we have a stand downstairs, so if you can come and talk to me, that would be great. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, First Minister, and once again, many, many congratulations to Green Oak Solutions, our winners. And finally, I'd like to invite Melvin Ingleson, Government Affairs Manager for Microsoft, to come up to the platform. Thank you.
I really don't think that I can follow the presentation of a £50,000 prize, but I really did want to just say thank you very much again to all the sponsors. Microsoft played a small part, but it was the inspiration initially of colleagues from Scottish Government, from SEPA, a particular thanks to Martin Valenti and his team, and also to Scottish and Southern Energy, where we all know Ian and his colleagues have been a real inspiration in terms of moving this programme forward. That prize fund is not the only part of the prize, and I'm delighted that we will be taking 4 members of the winning team from Green Oak and from Glasgow Caledonian University, and we will be introducing them to our Global Environmental and Sustainability team in Redmond, our global headquarters, and we'll also be introducing them to our global apps development team and all the exciting things that are going on. And the only other thing I would really like to say, apart from the most obvious, which is to wish Green Oak, but also all the other finalists who are also showcasing at your SME showcase, to wish them all the best, is to say to all of you that the world of technology is incredibly exciting at the moment, and there are huge opportunities for Scottish technology companies to work with other business sectors, with government and with other parts of private and third sector, and to develop fantastic solutions which will assist Scotland meet its challenging but nonetheless achievable 42%, but equally will be solutions which will be of interest to the world. And certainly from a Microsoft perspective, we would be delighted to act as channel partners to help those solutions not just bring benefit to Scotland, but of course bring benefit to the world. And indeed, that may require an additional distillation if everyone then signs up to that 42% target. So thank you very much indeed to the sponsors, and thank you very much to the First Minister for presenting the award.